Welcome back, everyone. As a member of our Metal Gear year, I guarantee you this episode we will continue to talk about shit steak. Thank you for coming back. And it's the president.
Oh my god. I never thought I'd see this.
President Johnson.
Why couldn't they say President Johnson?
Oh, it is. It is the president. Oh my god.
It's the president.
Your equipment. That skull suit isn't exactly standard military issue.
Fucking
Damn,
president.
calling him out first thing.
Yeah.
Is this some kind of sick joke?
Man, the president's a dick.
This is where he goes all perv on him, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
I'm prepared to face the consequences of my betrayal.
What are you?
Oh.
What the?
You're a man?
That's how you check.
I understand why you would be confused, Mr. President.
Foxhound.
Understandable.
What did you think this cod piece was for?
I see.
That happens again in Snake Eater, too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's a skin tight suit. Does he just have like no genitals?
What did he think that bulge was?
No, I'm seeing a bulge there, man.
There's a
I'm
very-
really confused.
That is like a David Bowie-esque bulge in that skin site.
It's not that bad.
I think Johnson's just a pervert. I mean,
He's
his
one of those.
his last name's Johnson.
Good point.
Understanding that the terrorists
Now we
He
switched over.
probably changed it to Johnson because he loves the Johnsons.
launching a
We switched over to Mr. President. I'm not sure how comfortable with that I am.
Sequence in myself.
Why weren't they calling it President Johnson?
I don't know.
That's just so bizarre.
Answer would have been yes. Right now,
The president. I'm gonna miss saying that.
signs are reconfirmed.
They betrayed you?
What do you mean? You're
Yeah.
gonna miss it.
I don't know what you're.
Power.
What are you getting at?
Well, because they call him Mr. President now.
Oh, okay.
Absolute power.
But you're the president.
Yes. It's coming back.
You have the power.
It's coming back.
I don't have any control. The real power is in the Patriots' hands.
Wait,
Dang,
why did we
conspiracies.
hear it this time? Why can we hear? Why isn't he saying lula le lo?
I'm not surprised you've never heard
Lila la la lulu.
Lali la
aware
lula.
of their existence, even among those with code word clearance.
Is the code word clearance?
Is it because he's the president he can say
The
it?
economy. They control it all. They even choose who becomes president.
President.
Putting it simply, the Patriots.
So we switched over to
Right,
the Patriots.
Raiden looks confused. Really.
Get used to that.
Almost always looks that way.
Look at his furrowed brow.
Who do you think has a more confused look on their face, Snake or Raiden?
Well, Snake
On a regular
never actually
basis.
looks confused. He is confused, but he always looks cool. He has that,
Raiden's going for like
stone-
the most confused award right now.
That's true.
He's just like, what?
Defense was initiated by
Space
Congress.
defense.
You know, if they were going to do a live-action version of Metal Gear Solid 2 back in the day, Keanu Reeves would be perfect for Raiden, because he constantly just has that whoa.
influences the government.
Because pretty much the first half of The Matrix, Keanu Reeves has no idea what the fuck is going on.
The people are shown
You mean
what
I
they
can
wanna
dodge
believe.
bullets?
What you call government is actually a well-staged production aimed at satisfying the public.
No way.
Dang, this music. It's like,
Be like that.
well, what is that television?
Legally safe.
Unsolved mysteries?
Unsolved
Yes,
Mysteries. It's
yes.
exactly like Unsolved Mysteries.
That's pretty great.
And they're talking about conspiracy theories, so it's just...
Well, I actually wanted. I had said that before that Mr. X is referring to the X Files. That's a character on the X Files.
Oh, yeah.
In the production document, or the design document, Kojima said that there's not supposed to be a central villain of this game, and that it's supposed to be very conspiracy-esque. And he said that rather than have a major villain like Liquid, even though there is Solidus, who kind of fills in that position, you're supposed to get the sense that it's bigger than Solidus, and he wanted to feel like a conspiracy plot that would be akin to the X-Files. He actually says the X-Files in the production document, or design document. The
They
president.
should have just replaced Johnson with Robert Stack.
I mean, look at this visual here. This is so conspiracy theory, like, video that you would...
Still just a plague.
I don't know, it just looks so cheesy. I like it.
I wanted to leave my own mark in history.
In my,
Arsenal Gear was an inside job.
well, it was.
Question mark?
And someday.
In my.
No, he won't.
No, you won't. He will never understand. In my head, the president is played by Robert Stack now officially.
I wanted to wield the power of a king instead of being an expendable pawn.
And that justifies acts of terrorism?
Yes. I intended to use the new Metal Gear as a bargaining chip,
Bargaining chip?
but I underestimated Solidus. He actually wants to challenge the Patriots, even if it means the destruction of the world.
What are you saying?
Whether you believe it or not, the balance of power rests in the hands of the Patriots.
So it's pretty crazy that we're
Wait a
just
second. So Solidus
staging a drama that is palatable
doesn't
to
like the
general
Patriots?
masses.
What?
what?
I had no idea.
Well, it's weird they're going to introduce the idea of the Patriots, and it seems so random, just kind of something that's been thrown in here. And again, this is technically the fourth Metal Gear game, but the Patriots are going to be like the single greatest running thread through the rest of the franchise now. Like, it's the glue that holds everything together, this concept of the Patriots.
Like it or not, the Patriots is an organization that must continue to exist.
So you changed your mind because you wanted to avoid global chaos.
So I guess a lot of people say that this game isn't exactly part of the plot. Like this game could be separate, but that's not true because this is where they introduced the Patriots and
Well, you could argue both ways, because you can argue that it's hard to get George Sears.
For me, it's like Metal Gear Solid made real the things in this that aren't real because it needed to, I guess. But if Metal Gear Solid 4 never existed, I could see this as like none of this actually ever happened.
But why would they even include this if none of this is actually happening? Why would they even include the conspiracy of the Patriots? You know what I mean? Why would this even be part of it?
Well, why did they include the glitches and things that they did in the Matrix, in the movie
I thought
The
that
Matrix?
was malfunction.
Well, there's a lot of later in the movies. There's a lot of talk about how, in order to satiate, the brains of distrusting and cynical humans, they would put conspiracies in there so that because they would never be satisfied. That's why they said they added disease and war and things, because humans were never satisfied with a perfect world. So there's even argument in the whole Matrix series that Neo, because he's like the eighth chosen one or whatever, that even outside of the Matrix, that's still part of the Matrix,
right?
Just to keep people satisfied. So I think you can make the argument that telling him about the Patriots, it just makes him seem like he's a part of it, because it would even go into the programming, because Solid Snake was aware of all of the different things going on during the Shadow Moses operative, but it didn't frustrate his mission in any way. Like, it didn't change anything. It just gave him more drive to keep going forward.
Oh, I see.
Now, I'm not saying that I completely subscribe to the idea that this is a virtual reality simulation, brought on by the Patriots. I'm not saying I don't subscribe to it. I'm just saying that it's just one of the ideas. So take it for what it is.
The Democrats and Republicans were dancing to the Patriots too.
But if it's true, then why would they include something true?
It doesn't make a difference.
I don't know.
Well, it also gives him the sense of success at the end of the game. It's not really a spoiler. I mean, if you beat the game, you beat the game. But I mean, it would lead him to feel like it's not something he has to worry about so more. Whereas if he's in a virtual simulation, it's something. You know what I mean?
This is a weird fucking game.
Yeah. We're just touching the tip of the iceberg here.
Opportunity would soon arrive.
What opportunity?
The completion of the new Metal Gear project.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, just warning you guys now at home. This whole episode is pretty much going to be this codec here. But this codec is pretty much like the basis of the franchise being strung together. Like, even going to the Phantom Pain, one of the whole idea behind the Phantom Pain is the big boss trying to get revenge against the Patriots, against Zero, who's the head of the Patriots. So this is something that's, the biggest threat in the entire series, the glue that holds everything together, is being introduced to us right here.
2 years ago from the Marines by Ocelot.
It is one of those cases where someone's over-explaining things, and you're like, why are you over-explaining this right now?
Why are you being so helpful?
Yeah.
To be more precise, this entire big shell facility is the new Metal Gear.
You're the president. Why do you,
What'd you say?
The upper structure that you've seen is camouflage.
Camouflage.
Designed to represent an offshore cleanup facility. The main structure extends from
You're
the
about to get
foundation all the way
digested.
down to the ocean floor. The connecting elevator is located on the B2 floor of the Shell 1 core. Arsenal Gear. That's the code name for the new Metal Gear.
Arsenal?
Yeah, I wonder if
Arse?
if there's a
Arse.
if there's a part where it becomes real.
About an impregnable fortress.
Yeah, I don't know.
In my reading of the game, like,
1,000 missiles, including
is
nuclear warheads,
it all
protected by a whole
VR, or is there a point where it becomes real, like the tail end? Like,
Ray unit was originally
I
designed
think
for the Marines.
there's so many glitches and things falling
Yeah.
apart all around him.
But you could also argue that's part of the simulation.
Right. And that's what I mean. Like when you start seeing the code coming through into the world, it sort of, I don't know, reinforces the idea that it's none of this is real. But is there a point at which it does become real?
Well, I think that would be more of something like if you were in a deep dream state, and someone's speaking to you, and that person's voice starts becoming a part of the dream, and you start to wake up a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it would be more like that. But I think the whole VR thing is really similar to Total Recall, where it's unclear whether or not the fantasy element started at one point in the movie or if the whole thing was a fantasy.
I heard an interesting reading of that the other day. I haven't seen the film since it first came out, so I can't even remember any of it. But like the reading was basically that the entire movie was like a dream or a memory vacation, and none of that actually happened.
Right.
But most people miss that.
Well, a lot of people were upset that because it's a Philip K. Dick story, and Philip K. Dick, the guy who wrote the basis of what Blade Runner, the story that Blade Runner is based on, is a huge science fiction god. So people were upset when they were making a movie out of one of his books that was starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. And a lot of people were upset when that first came out. But when you think about it, what brilliant casting that is in the context of what the story is about this guy pretending to be a fantasy hero.
Right.
That's perfect casting, because of course you would cast Arnold Schwarzenegger to be this like completely unrealistic everyday man who suddenly finds himself in the middle of like a conspiracy.
Yeah, I kind of want to go back and watch it again after hearing that.
The movie, it's a great movie. It's classic. There are some 80s wonky moments of it, but the story totally stands up. The story is very modern.
Oh man, this music just got really intense, guys.
There isn't much time. The football served as the key for
Football.
Arsenal gear.
You mean a literal football?
Input the necessary
No, it
I
was in quotation
quotes,
marks.
Yeah.
It won't be long before GW begins.
Do you think he's doing all the quotation
He's
marks
doing
with his
air
hands?
quotes. Yeah.
And Arsenal gear becomes fully operational. Stop them before that happens. That is your role.
Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, he keeps
You're
killing
not
with
the
his rose.
president. Oh wait.
She's the only one who can stop
E-
that thing.
Ooh, EE. We're going to get into a lot of stuff. That last name
She's the
sounds
system
familiar.
programmer for Arsenal gear.
Oh, but Raiden has even met Hal at this point.
The core of this building.
Yep.
I thought the levels below
He
us
did
were
call him
flooded.
directly.
I'm sure they won't let her die just yet, as she's the only remaining programmer for this project. According to Ocelot, she was being held in a locker room located in the northwest part.
I think
of
Ocelot's such a
level
cool
B1.
code name.
Cut transmission.
Yeah.
Moving.
Man, that was a lot to
This
digest.
is card 4. It'll give you access all the way.
It's always
to
about the
Emma's
key cards.
location. Give this to her when you find her.
What is it?
A program for disrupting the control functions between
What if he'd be like, "No, your
mixtape.
fucking business. Just give it to her, all right?" I'm the goddamn president.
It's a CD I promised to burn for her.
Let's get Green Day. The Green Day album.
It's Green Day's Dookie. Please make sure it gets to her.
In 2001, even that's even dated then.
Yeah.
and Ocelot forgot to search me. You've got to hurry.
So is
What?
This is the only way you're going to stop Arsenal.
So it is weird that the president is the one who pretty much is responsible for the end turning out the way it is. Wouldn't that have been part of the simulation, though?
Everything you need to know.
That's a little weird.
There's only one thing that remains to be done.
Grab his crotch again.
Oh yeah.
Come here.
Man, dramatic pause.
What if he just started taking off his clothes? You're like, what the hell are you doing?
Oh, I thought he was going for his junk again.
It did seem like
There's
that.
no time to argue. The final check from
Can I hold your cock while you kill me?
second.
It's just weird that this entire time, people have been like, the president, you must save the president, rescue the president. And you finally get to the president, he's like, kill me. I don't know why that's comical, but it is.
That's abusing your right to free speech.
Mr. President.
What?
Or is it ex-president?
Good one.
The president.
The president?
Oh my goodness.
My finger must have slipped.
That's what he wanted, so what's the big deal?
I'll see you around, carrier boy.
Apocalypse Now
Wow,
reference.
man.
Forget him. He did us a favor.
Wait, how are you still alive? You got shot in the heart.
He will. There is no difference between some.
Oh, wow, guys. Some fucking knowledge right
The
there.
real choice is to put an end to this charade. Let me at least have the freedom to end it myself.
I'm sorry. How did you not know he was a guy? Look at those.
Look at it. It's like right in his face. Look at it right there.
Stop Arsenal. This is
Ours?
my last order as your commander-in-chief.
I think he got a bigger cod piece in Rising.
What's the cybernetic codpiece?
Right.
Is his dick cybernetic at that point?
I think most of them is cybernetic.
Yeah,
at
I
that
think
point.
in Rising, the only thing left is his spinal cord and his head.
Well, we would cover that in Metal Gear Solid 4 when we get to that point, because it gets pretty brutal there towards the end.
I gotta loot this body real quick.
Yeah, looting. I'm doing air quotes, everyone.
Give it up. Drop it.
Man, that was a fucking exposition dump.
Yeah, I know.
Just drag him across the facility.
You have to play the rest of the game dragging the president. And then just keep calling the colonel, you told me to get the president.
What do you think will happen if I shoot him and then call someone?
Try it. What if it ends the game? Nothing happens. You're just shooting a corpse. Call Rose. You should probably be saving anyway, but call
Oh, yeah,
Rose.
it's called Rose.
Huh?
She wants nothing to do with you.
That's all right. Wait, you can't even save right now?
That's weird.
That is weird. All right, well.
Man, just like we had a moment like this in the first Metal Gear, when we played Metal Gear Solid 1, we had this really long episode that was the president. That was mostly a codec call, and that was the one where you find out that Big Boss was actually Snake's dad. And we're just like, they just dropped this huge fucking franchise-changing piece of info in the middle of a codec call. I think that's what just happened now. I mean, from now on, throughout every game, it's all around the president. Our presidents. I have the president on the brain.
You do.
The Patriots.
I don't have the security clearance necessary to verify the facts. However, he was the president.
The president.
I'm sure he
Oh, yeah,
knew
you can
what he was
make him
talking
say
about.
stuff.
Aren't you forgetting that he was part of the terrorist plot?
All the more reason why I believe his information is reliable. I agree. We're talking about a man who chose to die rather than risk the Holocaust. Thanks to his sacrifice, the Nuclear Launch Authority has shifted to the vice president, effectively eliminating
It's like a
the terrorist
soundboard.
threat.
Yeah, this is exactly what
When
it
you
is.
put it like that, it almost sounds like I should have assassinated the president to eliminate the threat.
That
Yeah,
was
that's
not my
kind of-
intention. I was trying to point out that there is certainly some credibility to the words of a man who chose death to protect the innocent.
The Colonel has a point, Jack.
Oh, shut
What
up,
about the
Rose.
information he gave me on the Patriots?
That's a new one on me. I'll see what I can find out. Raiden, we're running out of time. Find Emma. She's supposed to be located on level B1 in the core of that building you're in, right? You've got to find her before Arsenal becomes fully operational.
Hurry, Jack.
It's up to you to make sure that the president didn't sacrifice his life.
Oh my God.
Understood. Raiden out.
Riding out.
What
Did you just hear what Colonel said to me?
Snake.
Do you believe this bullshit?
He's been assassinated.
His way of
There's
gossiping
nothing
over
I can
codec.
do.
What about the nuclear strike code sequence?
He died before his vital ID could be reconfirmed.
Then the enemy's lost their nuclear strike.
Man, on top of everything else that Ocelot has done, he's also
Guy
killed the
obviously
president.
Killed the president on purpose.
Why?
That Ocelot guy?
Doesn't make any
Show some
sense.
respect.
They had to know that they couldn't launch the nuke if they killed the president.
Maybe there's a way to launch without
Ooh, who's this guy?
Who the
Who's this
fuck's-
dreamboat?
Who's this
They found a more
handsome
effective
man?
weapon within Arsenal gear.
You knew about Arsenal gear?
Yeah,
Why didn't you tell me about it?
you never asked.
Am I correct in assuming you also know that the big shell's a front for the project?
You mean, did I know that the Big Shell, a fully functional environmental cleanup facility, was designed to camouflage Arsenal gear?
That's what I just fucking said.
I
Yeah.
did.
Wow.
That's exactly what
Yeah,
President
I'm a
Nate
dick.
described.
You never
Massive
asked.
cover
Sorry.
story. The good
A
news is
massive
that
boner.
it hasn't really done much in terms of cleaning up the environment, so we won't have to worry about any toxic gas being released if we have to blow the house down.
Right. And when did you find out about all of this?
It took a while, but we uncovered the info around the time you took out that mad bomber.
Well, you were wasting everyone's fucking time. I mean, that again is like another strike against the fat man battle. like you're fucking around with this ridiculous guy on rollerblades, and Snake is out there doing all the real work.
Otacon could have got him taken care of on the helicopter.
These photos 2 years ago.
I know these pictures. They were on the news on several websites.
They had websites back then.
They're on the news and on several websites.
It's this futuristic thing.
Otacon, me, we were used.
We were
Told them by
used.
the public with photos of the new Metal Gear, we could persuade the government. At least that was the plan at the time.
I've gone through VR training.
Wait, where did that picture come from? Of you like staring at Olga's boobs?
Accurately simulates the event.
I did do that for a really long time, so.
You were there for like 2 hours.
I'd infiltrated the dummy tank.
So this is assuming that you didn't play the first level, that you didn't play the Tinker mission.
Yeah.
This is like a summary.
Filling you in.
Yeah.
Raided the ship and gained control.
Olga and Ocelot were among the raiders.
But it's weird. Why would they include this if you had played the Tinker mission? Is it? Are they assuming that it's been so long ago you've forgotten all this?
That is curious.
Their target was also
Well, I think they're acting. I mean, Raiden wasn't there, so I think they're just.
Commander Scott.
But the player was.
Yeah.
There is definitely something going on here, game-wise,
Well,
mechanic-wise.
there's that weird
All I remember is
idea where Raiden starts to become his own person and split from the player.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe that's
Ocelot then sank
another part of it.
along with the soldiers of the Marine Corps.
I really think that this is a thematic thing of hammering the same ideas home and repeating. And again, that goes into the idea of this being a sequel to a sequel to a sequel.
Yeah,
That was the easy part.
like a sequel about sequels.
Exactly, yeah.
Sinking tanker. Small miracle when you think about it.
Get right up in there.
You got
I'm curious.
You got a bug there, man. Get it out, Hal.
I like the idea of Raiden like getting really up close to the codec and be like, "Who is this guy?"
Released to the public. In turn, we became the world's most wanted environmental terrorists.
So yeah, I guess we just throw it out there. Before we get to the ending, these are pretty much like the interpretations, and we're gonna unravel as we go on. But Josh, you pretty much see all this as being a VR simulation, that Raiden is not really experiencing all this, that this is kind of just a simulation from the Patriots.
Yeah, I guess
I mean, you don't-
he's experiencing it, but not for real.
Right.
Like,
It's very it's basically the Matrix.
yeah,
It's basically the Matrix. And I'm not saying to explain the whole ins and outs of it. I'm just saying that's like your thesis. That basically Raiden is in the Matrix right now.
right. None of this is real.
And I guess to piggyback on that and my interpretation of this game, both of us, we have this idea of that this game really stands out from all the other games in this series because it doesn't really mesh with the other ones very well. And that's why Metal Gear Solid 4 is so complicated, is because it tries to make all of this continuity, like it's supposed to make it canon. And my opinion is more of like, this isn't even like, Josh, you think this is like Matrix, it's a programming thing.
Right, you can't explain in the real world things that didn't actually happen, which
Right.
is what I feel like MGS4 did. So,
Well, yeah, that's we'll get into that too when we get to Metal Gear Solid 4. But more of my interpretation, and I'm not going to get into all of it right now, but it's even more abstract than that. Like, I even think there's even a step removed from the idea of this being VR. I think it's Kojima saying this is a fucking video game.
Yeah.
This doesn't make sense. This isn't supposed to be real. There's no such thing as continuity because this is like a comic book.
Right.
At this point, he's actually said that, and we'll talk about that at the end of the game.
I mean, what are video games but simulations?
Exactly. And that's where the whole VR, that's why you can do the VR theory, because that is an aspect of it. And it's just, Kojima made this to be as ambiguous as possible. And so that's why a lot of these theories are supported by, you can say anything about the game that you want, and there's just basic, some basis for it. But I think the game, more than anything, is just Kojima saying what is a sequel and what is a sequel of a video game. Like, what does that even mean on the fourth game of a video game?
What's she doing here?
Uh-oh.
You got me. She's a computer whiz who specializes in neural.
Push those glasses up, Hal. They're sliding.
Volume data analysis using complex
I don't
logic.
feel
How
like
she got
it. I think
involved
that's
in
pretty
weapons
accurate.
development is beyond me.
Whatever her reasons, we need her in order to stop Arsenal.
Raiden, find her.
I'm on my way.
Raiden's on his way, and we're on our way through this game. We're going to pretty healthy clip. It's going to get crazier. We covered a lot of shit this episode, and it's all very heavy. But we're going to it's going to snowball from here on out. So join us for next time, and when we go find out this elusive EE character. See you next time, guys.
See ya.